So, you've read one book your entire life. That's great. Really, it is. We're not judging. Well, maybe a little, but let's take a moment to appreciate that one book. It must be pretty special to have captured your attention for so long. Maybe it's a classic, a timeless piece of literature that speaks to your soul. Or perhaps it's a modern masterpiece that resonates with your life experiences. Either way, it's your book, and that's something to celebrate because, let's be honest, sticking to one book is like only ever watching one channel. Imagine if you only ever watched one TV show. Sure, it might be a great show, but think of all the other stories, characters and worlds you're missing out on. The same goes for books. Each one offers a new adventure, a new perspective, a new way to see the world. Sure, it might have its moments, but you're missing out on a whole universe of other stuff. There's a galaxy of stories out there waiting to be discovered. From epic fantasies to gripping thrillers, from heartwarming romances to thought-provoking non-fiction, the possibilities are endless. Each book is a star in the literary sky, and together they create a breathtaking constellation of human creativity and imagination. But hey, if that one book happens to be the big one, the one with all the creation stories and whatnot, then buckle up. You're in for a treat. This book isn't just any book. It's a cornerstone of human culture and history. It's been read, studied, and interpreted by countless people over the centuries. It's inspired art, music, and literature. It's shaped societies and influenced the course of history. And now it's your turn to dive into its pages and uncover its secrets. Because we're about to dive into the most epic, hilarious, and slightly confusing origin story ever told, the creation of the world according to, well, you know. This story has it all: drama, comedy, mystery, and a touch of the surreal. It's a tale of gods and monsters, of heroes and villains, of love and betrayal. It's a story that has been told and retold in countless ways, each version adding its own unique twist. Get ready for a wild ride through a time before time when things were a little improvisational. Picture a world in its infancy, raw and untamed, where the rules of nature were still being written. It's a place of chaos and wonder, where anything is possible and nothing is certain. It's a world that challenges our understanding and sparks our imagination. Think of it like the universe's first draft, complete with plot holes, continuity errors, and more than a few, wait what, moments. It's a story that's still being written with new discoveries and interpretations adding to the narrative. It's a reminder that our understanding of the world is always evolving and that there's always more to learn. Don't worry, we're here to guide you through it all. We'll help you navigate the twists and turns, the highs and lows, the moments of clarity and the moments of confusion. Together, we'll explore the depths of this incredible story and uncover the truths that lie within. So grab your book, settle in, and let's embark on this journey together. Okay, so in the beginning, there was nothing. And then, boom, stuff existed. We're talking about a whole lot of nothing suddenly becoming a whole lot of something. Like, where did it all come from? Don't worry about it. It's a classic case of a wizard did it. We're talking about heaven and earth just popping into existence. But here's the kicker. They weren't exactly the finished product just yet. Imagine a bunch of IKEA furniture parts scattered around with no instructions in sight. That's kind of what we're dealing with here. It was a mess, frankly. And we haven't even gotten to the part where things actually start getting organized. But hey, even the universe needs a little time to warm up, right? Now here's where things get a little weird. The story tells us that darkness was everywhere. Okay, fair enough, it's the beginning of time, so no surprise there. But then it says that the Spirit of God was hovering over the waters. Wait, water? Where did that come from? Apparently water was just hanging out, chilling in the darkness, like it was no big deal. It's like finding out your basement was full of swimming pools before you even installed plumbing. So we've got darkness, we've got water, and we've got the Spirit of God doing something. Honestly, it's all a bit vague at this point, but don't worry, things are about to get a whole lot brighter. Or at least that's what they tell us. And then a voice boomed out, "Let there be light," which, okay, fair play. Darkness is overrated anyway. But here's the thing. How do you separate light from darkness? like they're not exactly two different substances. It's not like separating the cookie dough from the ice cream. It's more like trying to separate the good parts of your internet browsing history from the embarrassing parts. You can try, but it's all kind of intertwined, isn't it? Anyway, light appeared, and God apparently was a fan. He called it day. The darkness, not so much. That got stuck with the name night. And just like that, we had the first case of cosmic favoritism. Section 5. The firmament, it's not what you think. Now, it's time for God to really get down to business. He decides to create something called a firmament. Sounds fancy, right? Like some kind of intergalactic spaceship or something. Well, prepare to be disappointed. The firmament is basically just the sky. Yeah, the sky. The thing we see every day, filled with clouds and the occasional airplane. You'd think with a name like firmament it would be a bit more impressive. But hey, we're not here to judge God's interior design choices. Apparently he needed something to separate the waters above from the waters below because, you know, things were getting a little too wet, even for God's liking. Section 6, from swamp to salad bar, a culinary creation. So, we've got light, we've got sky, we've got water, the essential ingredients for life, right? But we're just getting started. What's next on the cosmic to-do list? Land. A place for all the future flora and fauna to call home. That's right. God decides it's time to make some dry ground. A solid foundation is crucial for the next steps. And how does he do it? He just tells the waters to gather together in one place, because why not? It's like a divine command, and the waters obey. And just like that, we have continents. Massive land masses that will eventually host diverse ecosystems, or at least the soggy, muddy beginnings of continents. It's a work in progress, but it's getting there. But God's not done yet. There's more to come, and it's going to be spectacular. He's on a roll now. Next up, plants. The Green Revolution begins. We're talking grass, herbs, trees, the whole botanical shebang. From tiny blades of grass to towering trees, it's all coming to life. It's like a divine episode of Extreme Makeover Planet Edition. The transformation is nothing short of miraculous. And just like that, the world goes from a desolate wasteland to a slightly less desolate wasteland with some greenery thrown in. Progress. Each new addition brings us closer to a vibrant, thriving planet. Flowers bloom, bees start their busy work, and the cycle of life begins. It's a beautiful, intricate dance of nature. From barren to bountiful, the transformation is awe-inspiring. And this is just the beginning of the grand design. Section 7. Lights, camera, seasons? Now that the world is starting to look a bit more lively, God decides it's time for some ambience. He creates the sun, the moon and the stars. You know, the usual celestial accessories. But then he throws a curveball. He doesn't just create them for light. Oh no, that would be too easy. These celestial bodies are also responsible for seasons. That's right, the sun, moon and stars are basically the world's most complicated calendar. And to think, all this time we've been relying on our smartphones. It's all a bit much, to be honest. But hey, at least now we have a good excuse for why the weather is so unpredictable. Blame it on the cosmic clock. Section 8. Animal chaos. Design flaws and flying fails. Things are really starting to take shape now. We've got land, we've got plants, we've got light and seasons. It's practically paradise. Except for one thing, it's a little quiet. So God decides to populate his creation with animals. And this is where things get really interesting. We're talking about birds that fly, or at least they're supposed to, fish that swim, and land animals that, well, do whatever land animals do. But it's clear that God was still working out some kinks in his design process. Why else would he create chickens? Those things can barely jump, let alone fly. And don't even get us started on the platypus. That's just God messing with us at that point. Section 9, Man, the ultimate DIY project. Finally, we come to the piece de resistance, humans. That's right, God saved the best, or at least the most complicated, for last. But even with all the practice he's had creating everything else, it seems like he's still not quite sure what he's doing. The story goes that he created man in his own image, which, okay, flattering. But then he realizes he forgot to make a woman. So he does a little divine surgery, takes a rib from the man, and voila, woman is created. It's all a bit haphazard if you ask us. You'd think the creation of humankind would be a bit more, well, dignified. But hey, nobody's perfect, not even the big guy upstairs. Section 10. Weekend at God's taking stock and making adjustments. By now, it's been a busy week. Like really busy. Imagine the kind of week where every moment is packed with tasks, decisions, and creative bursts. We're talking about the kind of busy that makes cramming for finals week look like a walk in the park. It's the sort of week where you barely have time to catch your breath. So it's understandable that God might need a little break. After all, even the most powerful beings need to take a moment to relax and recharge. Even divine beings need to recharge, right? It's a universal truth that everyone, no matter how mighty, needs a pause to gather their strength. He takes a step back, looks at everything he's created, and probably lets out a massive sigh of relief. It's a moment of reflection, a chance to appreciate the fruits of his labor. It's not perfect, not by a long shot. There are still rough edges, areas that need fine-tuning, and elements that didn't quite go as planned. There are still a few design flaws to work out, some aspects that need a bit more attention and care, some logistical issues to iron out. It's a process of continuous improvement, tweaking here and there to get things just right. But overall, it's not bad for a week's work. Considering the scale and complexity of the task, it's quite an achievement. The world is up and running, populated with plants, animals, and a vibrant ecosystem that is teeming with life. And even a couple of humans to keep things interesting. These early inhabitants add a new layer of complexity and intrigue to the creation. Time for a well-deserved rest. After all the hard work, it's important to take a moment to relax and enjoy the results. Section 11, Sunday Funday, a day of rest and regrets. Sunday rolls around and even God takes a break. He's declared it a day of rest, which, let's be honest, is a pretty genius move. Even if you're a divine being with unlimited power, everyone needs a day to just chill out. But as he's relaxing, maybe flipping through the celestial channels or catching up on some cosmic reading, one has to wonder if a few thoughts are creeping into his mind. Did he really need to make mosquitoes? Were platypuses really necessary? And could he have, maybe, just maybe, streamlined the whole day and night situation a little better? Section 12, the moral of the cosmos. So there you have it, the creation story in all its hilarious, chaotic and slightly confusing glory. It's a story that's been told and retold for centuries, and yet it never fails to entertain. But beyond the laughs, there's a deeper message here. It's a reminder that even the most incredible creations, even the universe itself, started out as a work in progress. It's a story that encourages us to embrace the imperfections, to laugh at the absurdities, and to marvel at the sheer audacity of it all. Because in the end, isn't that what makes life and the universe so endlessly fascinating?